as at our last discussion, the fireworks were still on between the two aspirants of the PDP. And the battle has gone through the 3 stages, terminating at the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court upheld the position of the appeal court that the case came up too early, and that the means of filing should have been writ of summons and not originated summons. The Federal High Court has decided that the case was properly filed by David Edewie and went on to adjudicate on the real matter. The real matter by summary was whether the person born in 1963 was the same as the person born in 1979. Whether the person who attended the grammar school in Alaja was the same person that earlier on was the same person that went to secondary school in Muoboghare and graduated in 1999 from that secondary school in Muoboghare. No, he was born in 1979, but graduated in 1999. Yeah, graduated in 1999 from that secondary school. The court decided, Federal Court, that Francis Oborevwori was not one and the same person as Sheriff Oborevwori, and for that reason, he was not qualified ab initio to have contested the primaries of the PDP. The Oborevwori team went on appeal to the Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal felt that the Federal Court should not have gone into the real matter, but rather should have struck out the case because it was filed too early and the means of filing was not proper. It was now the turn of David Edewie to appeal to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court justices decided that that substantive matter needed not to be addressed yet until the means of filing was taken care of. And since the means of filing was wrong and that they filed too early, there was no need looking into the issue at stake. So with the judgment of the Supreme Court, a vacuum was created. No decision on whether Francis Oborevwori is one and the same as Sheriff Oborevwori, making it impossible for the party to jubilate. And that's why I said the lawyers, Sheriff's lawyers, did a very poor job. Should have insisted that the appeal court should take a decision on whether Francis is the same as Sheriff, which was their case anyway. And the Supreme Court ought to have taken such a decision too. Supreme Court did not. So he just threw the young man and his followers into a quagmire. And now so many persons are still talking. Are they really the same? We cannot categorically say they are the same. And in the Supreme Court ruling, there was a reference made to, yes, there are discrepancies in the names and all of that. So exposing us, and I say us, in PDP, to the hounds, pushing us to the hounds to devour, which is very, very, very unfortunate. And the lawyers should not jubilate that they did such a poor job. I repeat, a very, very poor job. I'm not happy with them as a party man. I'm not satisfied with what they did. But they cannot appeal. Otherwise, if there was one more court of appeal beyond the Supreme Court, both parties would have appealed. The David Edewie group would have appealed, and then the Sheriff group would have appealed to ask for a proper declaration that Francis Oborevwori is one and the same as Sheriff Oborevwori. Yes, like we said earlier, I believe that after God, the next most powerful person is not the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it's not the President of Senate, no, it's the judge. Even if it's a High Court judge, that's the next most important person. God can take life. A High Court judge can order life to be taken legally. So such a person is held in reverence. This man who can say you should die by hanging, and you will die by hanging, must have something spiritual in him, must have something godly in him. So when they say a judge has taken bribe also, I have never believed it until today. I still do not believe it. So those wild stories that they took 14 billion naira, they took 50 billion naira, 40 billion naira to appeal court, 50 billion naira to Supreme Court, it's a lie. Those stories are not correct. The 50 billion naira, where would it come from? Do you know what a billion is? A million in 1,000 places? Abi? A million in 1,000 places is a billion. And you're not talking of 1 billion, 50 billion for 5 justices. That's 10 billion each. To do what with? So if they handle 10 such cases, it will be 500 billion. No, it's not right to run down our justices like that. And wherever we think the money is coming from, there's no such money anywhere that would have been given to any justice. And any justice who takes that kind of money, even if at the highest court, is evoking a curse on his own family, that the godly duty you were given, you have abandoned it for money. And that does not happen. So it's not like they took money, or I don't believe it. It's like the lawyers did not do a good job, and so the lawyers have exposed the party to ridicule. Because even without people going to court, I know some other persons have gone to court. People are still asking, did the judges say that Francis Oborewori is one and the same as Sheriff Oborewori? You can't answer it. I can't answer it. All people say is that they dodged it. They did not dodge it. The lawyers didn't bring it up. The lawyers did not bring it up, and they ought to have brought it up. That's what you were paid for as a lawyer, to do it. When you are paid, when you are hired as a counsel, you must sit down and do your job to protect your client. These ones just collected money and presented something that is wishy-washy before the courts, right from the Federal High Court to Appeal Court to the Supreme Court. At the Federal High Court, they abandoned the case. Frankly speaking, that case was abandoned at the Federal High Court. That's why the Justice Taiwo had no other alternative than to rule in favor of David Edevie, that this is not the same as this, based on the documents that were available. But if you felt it was not so, go and do harder work to ensure that the appellate court reversed it properly. But banking on technicalities and all of that, for PDP should go and, if it was possible, PDP should have asked the lawyers to refund part of the money that was paid, because they didn't do anything. They did not do anything. So that's where we are right now. There's nowhere to appeal to again. There's nowhere to appeal that case to again. The group will meet, right? The group we meet is a pressure group anyway. The DUG is a pressure group. Very soon that group will meet. I think the leadership of the group will take a decision on that and forge a way forward. Like I said earlier, DUG is a pressure group within the People's Democratic Party. I think that's all I can say about that for now. I see. That's another angle, really, whether APGA, SDP, the APC, and all of that, well, they will feel that the DUG group is aggrieved, right? And they want to take advantage of that and make incursions into them and see them partner with us and all of that. Well, I've not seen that happening yet. That's why I say we'll wait until the group meets. Now, tomorrow we'll make it a week that the judgment was delivered by the Supreme Court. Some are still not recovered from it. You know, when a party goes to court, it's with the expectation that we would win. We expected that we were going to win that case, right? So maybe let's give it 10 days after the judgment. People would have sufficiently recovered, and then the leadership will feel that, yeah, let us have a meeting, a general meeting of the group. You know, other groups have a meeting, the political vanguard, high voltage for PDP, low voltage for PDP, medium voltage for PDP, one group here, one group there, and all that. They are strategizing, right? They are strategizing. After the court case, normally there will be some shifts, right? Shifts within the party, right? shift within the party. I wouldn't know whether there will be shifts outside the party. I cannot really right now speak for the Delta Unity Group what will be the outcome of their meeting, which I suspect will come up very soon. It's okay, because several names that were called. They had a meeting, I'm sure that's what you are referring to, a meeting of southern governors, which was hosted in Asaba. Another one was hosted in Lagos, I suppose, or was it Ibadan? Then the third one was in Enugu, where they said the presidency in all parties should be zoned to the south this time around, the north having had it for the past 7+ years, and by May will be for the past 8 years. With due respect, that group, the Southern Governors Group, is not very different from a Delta Unity Group. It's at best, a pressure group. A pressure group has its interest, just like DUG had its interest in David Adewale, right? The pressure group had its interest, general interest, in the presidency coming to the south. That group, that Southern Governors Group, does not have the power to cause the presidency to be zoned to the south by all the political parties. And do not forget that political parties want to outsmart one another. And political parties are about feeding candidates that will win elections. Not just any candidate, not just zoning. We want to win this election. And do not also forget that even among the Southern governors, there were those who came with group interests. Southwest group interest, South group interest, and the Southeast group interest. If there were no such regional or group interest, they should have come out categorically to say that the next president of Nigeria should come from the Southeast, not having tasted it since the creation of democracy. But they will not, because each person will want that it will come to his or her own subgroup. Having said that, here in PDP, number one has eluded us as we knew it would elude us. Should we throw away number two? The answer is no. Having lost number one, the next most important position is number two. And number two was thrown at us. Delta, take. Ifeanyi Okowa, take. I can say it. None of the Southern governors would reject number two position being thrown at him. None of those governors who came for this meeting would reject number two position being thrown at him. And if Ifeanyi Okowa had rejected number two position thrown at him, I'm sure Deltans would have been shouting, you don't know what you are doing. Who do you think you are? I gave you number two position. You should have allowed somebody else to take it. Now Delta State has lost its opportunity of being the vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So those attacking him on the basis of accepting to be vice president are not sincere. Because they would have accepted the same thing. You know, sometimes when we were appointed commissioners, we say, why are you accepting to be commissioner? This and that and that. The person say, why would you accept to be commissioner with this government? The moment he is appointed commissioner, commissioner is good though. He would accept. They don't reject. And because it's expected to that. See, whether you like it or not, we know vice president, ordinarily speaking, has no constitutional responsibility except to act for the president when he's away, or whatever the president asks him to do is what he does. We are not expecting any big deal in Abuja, but the small deal that can come through the office of the vice president, let us get it. At least, Okowa knows where Ugweru is. Okowa knows where Yakoromo is. Okowa knows where Torugbene is. None of the others knows where these communities are. Yes, agreed. This last regime, the vice president, Professor Yemi Osibajo, SAN, was reduced to the status of distributing money in the marketplaces. You know, carrying money in his pocket, go to Tejuosho market, give it the entire convoy, the boots of the entire convoy loaded with currency. So vice president will carry 10,000 naira. Yemi, come and take this and take. Okay, if it's just trader money that we get as being vice president, at least Warri market will get trader money, because we didn't get before. Agbo market we get, Sable market, Alero market will get trader money, which they've only heard of without seeing. Like I said, for this period that we are together, whatever we can get from the center, let us get it before the country splits. So on the issue of Okowa should not have accepted vice presidency because he's a southern governor, I say no. Every southern governor would have jumped at that opportunity. You saw what happened that time when Oshibajo was to be vice president. You know how many people fought to be vice president? The same thing when Yar'Adua became vice president. This is not the first time this thing is happening. The South-South People's Conference had met and decided that nobody from the South-South should accept the position of vice president to any Northerner. It must be president. But when Goodluck Jonathan was nominated as the vice presidential candidate to Yar'Adua, all the agitations went down. So some people make this noise hoping that it will come to them. If it comes to them, fine. If it does not come to them, let us break it into pieces. No, I don't operate like that. Let them go to the polls. We are PDP people. PDP has chosen Atiku Abubakar as the presidential candidate and Ifeanyi Okowa as the vice presidential candidate. Let's go. For as long as Nigeria remains together, let's get as much as we can get from there. So that's how I take this thing. See, the North has decided the presidency should come from the North. If Atiku wins, in the next 8 years, the presidency will still come from the North if Nigeria remains one. But do not say because of that anger, you will not take vice presidency. No, take it. Take it. Who knows? There may be no 8 years, right? All the separatist groups may just succeed, and we have the Yoruba nation. Biafra may just succeed, and we have the Biafran nation. The Midwest group may just succeed. We have the Midwest region. Many people don't know that there is a Midwest agitation too. We may have the Midwest region, but there must be peace for now. Atiku, you are now president. Look, we are having a referendum. We want to be on our own. We can also encourage him. Now, you don't know what they are even planning in the North. The way they are carrying everything to Niger Republic, they have their own plans. We can help them to succeed in that regard. In that regard, you know, Africa was wrongly split. It was split longitudinally. The way Buhari is behaving now, he believes in this horizontal splitting, which is very good. Lofi, Borno, Kano, Adamawa, Bauchi, Sokoto, Katsina. You are one and the same with Chad, Mali, Niger. That's one country. The Middle Belt people have the same culture, one country. Maybe the South can decide to have one country with Benin Republic and then part of Cameroon. Look at it, look at Cameroon. They just walk across. Just like the way they walk across in the North to the Niger Republic. But we are not bold enough to bring the people that have boundary with us at ICOM to be part of us in the South. We're even fighting with Bakassi. Bakassi are our people. We are their people. So as they are doing this in the North with Niger Republic. That's what we ought to do with our brothers and sisters in Bakassi. As one country, let them come and register. So as Niger Republic citizens are coming to Nigeria to register as citizens, let those people from Bakassi come and register with us as citizens. Let those Yorubas in Benin Republic come and register with us. The Yoruba nation should not just end with Western Nigeria. The Yoruba nation should include their fellow Yoruba across the boundary to be one country. That's how it should be. Right? So that's it about presidential candidate of PDP. As a faithful PDP man, yes, the North has decided, and that is how it will be. Wike. Each time I hear Wike's name, I laugh. Somebody said Wike is a man, and I said no, Wike is not a man. He's the plural of a man. He's a man because he's dogged. I like dogged fighters. Wike went in. He campaigned very heavily, although he made mistakes. If you wanted delegates from Delta and Edo State, I mean, you should fraternize with your brothers from the Midwest region. You cannot be abusing them and expect that they will vote for you at Abuja during the primaries. Having said that, Wike came second, just like Amici came second in the APC. Those Rivers people were very tough human beings. Wike accepts that, look, I didn't clinch it. I failed in the primaries. Fine. But we had agreed that should the presidential candidate come from the north, the party chairmanship position should be given to the south. They agreed. Wike is saying, now that you have won, no problem. You should be caused to resign and let the party chairman come to the south. Wike is not saying, make me party chairman. Not saying the party chairman must come from Rivers State or from the south, but from any of the 3 political regions in the south. Is that asking for too much? Much as I say, as a party man, Atiku has been nominated as the presidential candidate of the party, and my governor has been nominated as vice presidential candidate, and will work for him. Much as I accept that, that will succeed only if Ayo resigns. Because the insult will be too much. Me, you are going to be president for under 8 years, after your fellow Fulani has had it for 8 years. Just after a fellow Northerner, let me say that. But this position, this small position, give to us. Let us feel that we are part of this country for now. You say, no, that is too much. In this present regime, every key position is held by a Northerner. It's held by a Northerner. Just mention it. Is it customs? Is it immigration? Is it NAPC, the cash cow? Is it TED fund? Is it NPA? Just mention it. Is it printing and security printing and minting company? Now somebody has been nominated, the brother-in-law to the president is the MD of printing and minting company. And we are watching. We are not violent. We are not the ones doing the killings in Nigeria. Even the killings are a reserve of the north. But give us just this one in PDP. Give us this party chairman position. And you say these slaves are asking for too much. We've been on our knees. That's why I said I accept the Northern presidency, because we are on our knees. And we'll continue to be on our knees until the country splits one way or the other. While we are on our knees, we are also begging. Even while on our knees, give us party chairman. We will manage that one. We just go and tell our people, look, we fought, and we got party chairman. You don't want us to show anything to our people that we got from this party. It's painful. So in that case, Wike has tried, and I pray for him every day. Do not give up on this party chairman thing. If PDP had agreed that the party chairman should resign, and indeed he resigned, these problems will not be there. How can you be having a presidential rally? Wike is not there, or the other governors are not there. That autumn of a man, and now his eyes are open. He's one of the greatest victims in Nigeria. When he was chairman of zoning committee, rather than being categorical to say this thing should be zoned to the southeast, he didn't say that. He couldn't say it should be zoned to the south. Just no need for zoning. Why? His fellow Northerners had warned him, if you dare, and that is it now. Now he's beginning to regret. He's with the Wike group. You don't blame him either, because they have taken a decision. The oligarchy has taken a decision. This is how it will be, whether you are an Oton, whether you are a Wike, whether you are a Makinde, whether an Ikpeazu or Ugwayi, for where they've taken that decision. That's why I said earlier, they will take. I know they will take that one. I knew from beginning they will take presidency. Let's go for vice presidency. Let it be that we have not worked in the party in vain in Delta State. That is where we are. But they should realize that these people who continue to vote for PDP are not fools. The day a slave escapes when the opportunity arises. A slave never plans his escape. A time will come. The opportunity for us, the slaves, to escape will come, and we shall escape.